Greetings and salutations. I hope everyone's having themselves a mighty fine day. Please like the video, subscribe, and hit the bell down so the Ghost of 13-month series doesn't get you and you can stay notified. Um, this video is actually being recorded today after I had watched Nintendo 2 Direct because something came up, and it comes up every once in a while to me from my audience where it's like, do I think a Kubera game would work, a Tower of God game would work? And I know that Tower of God has mobile games. And listen, I'm just going to be the pretentious guy. Gotcha games and their little mobile games, as much as like they're getting more sophisticated because phones are getting stronger and you could throw stuff like a Genshin and Fortnite or whatever, even though I don't play those type of games really on a phone. Mobile gaming to me is not real gaming. So when people ask me, do I think a Tower of God game would work and what genre should it be and how would I like design it if I designed it, I guess. I'm thinking PS5, Xbox, Steam, PC, things of that nature. I'm not thinking mobile because I know we have Great Journey, the Netmarble one, if that's not the same one, and Tower of God M, and like Hero Cantate for webtoons, but those don't move me personally. If they move you, good for you. I'm just speaking for myself. I'm being condescending. I am, but I don't really care for those type of games. I feel like it should be probably an action adventure game, like, kind of like a God of War type game. You can see the character from a third person view, and then you can use like Shinsu attacks and combos and ranged attacks with like maybe a Shinsu meter or something. Maybe if it's like in the third season with the infinite Shinsu loop, you can do something to like recharge it yourself. I'm not entirely sure. I'll just say this: I've done this for Kubera already, and I don't think Kubera works as, I don't know. I wouldn't trust anybody to make a good Kubera game, and it is supposed to be a tragedy romantic fantasy more than anything else. Even though there's fighting and combat in a magic system, I would argue that it probably would work best as a visual novel. I think a Kubera visual novel would go stupid because then you could still dive into Kurigam's writing ability because they're basically like interactive graphic novels. But I think for Tower of God, for like if you really wanted to make a big Tower of God game, going floor by floor and maybe creating more tests and games and little like Bam's running around and you have to find certain things before the time limit, and maybe you have squad battles like the Crown game. Like, I would try to do it more so in that style. I'm not necessarily saying maybe Arena Fighter 3D like a Naruto Ninja Storm 2, but like more like in the God of War ilk is kind of what I'm thinking, or like maybe Kingdom Hearts or something like that. Like those types of games where you have your level up system. Maybe Bam learns different Shinsu techniques. My bad. As he goes up the tower, as you gain more experience, however you gain experience in the game, and I think through that conduit, it would probably work well if you had a competent team who really knew the material and really cared about it and put a lot of love, time, and affection into the game, then it would work. But other than that, I do think you could make a Tower of God fighting game. It wouldn't be the craziest thing. I would prefer not an arena fighter, maybe 2.5D like Tekken, or maybe do something like what JoJo's Bizarre Adventure All Star Battle like R did, where you can kind of still shift in the plane and it kind of comes at an angle, so it has that more dynamic 3D view, but it's still more of a traditional 2D fighter. Or I guess you can go like the just traditional 2D fighter, your Street Fighters, your Arc System games like Blast Blue or Guilty Gear. I think that would work. You get your characters, you make a move set that works. Maybe like, I don't know, summoning a bang. You got to do something, and you can fire the bang whenever you want. And depending on if it's like light, medium, heavy attack, some are faster, some have more range, some do more damage. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not a game designer. I think I would be very good on a game design team if I was writing dialogue and script and story stuff. But obviously, I can't code. I have no coding ability. I can barely work a stream. You guys see all the audio issues I be having and everything. So just like, I'm not the one. But I definitely do believe a Tower of God video game can work and would work if someone really cared and had the audience and people who really wanted it. Again, I think a 3D action game would work, and even a fighting game would work. But again, for most people, I think they'll stay content with the mobile game. I don't know how much money that stuff rakes in or whatever, but the little gotcha mobile stuff is probably enough for the average consumer. Maybe I still think a visual novel will work too, but I just think it'd be maybe a little less interesting. Tower God has a lot of fights, so you can do more fight scene things. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Would you be interested in a real Tower? I say real, but real Tower God game for console and PC and things like that, or you're cool with the mobile games, or just a Tower God game in general doesn't really interest you. You don't particularly care in any capacity. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, and have yourself a mighty fine day. Now you having signing out. We have been bleeding numbers and pledgers over the last few months. I really need your guys' help and support on the Patreon, but for everyone who's here, I greatly appreciate it. Shout out to the CBLs, that's the Certified BAM Lovers. Also a huge shout out to the Priests of Fire, 2nd tier. Best Brilith Gang could be the real CBLs. And a huge shout out to tier 3, the 5th Zen Gods. Shout out to Big Chief, Gray, Johnny Rogers, Ketan, Lucky Roo, Muzaka, Scobe, Simi, Zyler, Scotty, Big Abdel, Agrona Vitera. Your support is greatly appreciated. The other day, I was able to eat some sugared grass that was frozen like popsicles. We moving on up, people. We eating good now.